portability is a very important aspect of my daily life, and it definitely translates to everything I've done so far to try and reduce the amount of things that I have to carry with me while still being able to be as productive as I normally would be. I'm somebody who commutes a lot, who has to travel a lot. Whether it is to work or to school, I always need to make sure that I can have as light a load as I possibly can. And that's been translating into my current audio choices. So as of now, I've been using over-ear headphones, such as my Audio-Technica ATH M40Xs, which is the pair that I use to edit usually. But if I'm just traveling or commuting from place to place and music is my priority, then I actually like to use TREBLAB's own Z2 pair, which is actually really awesome. But with that said, TREBLAB themselves decided to help me out with that. And they sent me a pair that could potentially solve those issues for me. A pair that sounds good, but that is as portable as can possibly get. Introducing TREBLAB xFit earbuds, the most pocketable pair I have ever come across. Let's dive in. This video is sponsored by Fifine, the makers of some of the best audio gear on a great budget, like the ones from their C1 models featuring a professional grade lavalier mic and the headset mics bundled together. Links to everything below. I would like to start off with a disclaimer before we move on. This pair was sent to me for review from TREBLAB. Now, despite of this kindly gesture, everything that you will get from this review are my thoughts only. I will address the good and any negative, so do keep that into consideration. If by the end you do decide to purchase these earbuds, then I will be making sure to give you guys 10% discount codes to either Amazon or TREBLAB titled Tech Summit. So if that is something that interests you, make sure to check that out. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. So the first thing we're going to do is cover the unboxing. It's very simple. Just cut the seal around the lid to then open it up. Inside, you'll find the earbuds themselves inside of their charging case. Also, some replacement ear tips, instructions for use, and a charging cable. It's a pretty simple unboxing experience overall. So in terms of the exterior design, these are honestly stellar. Let's start off with the case. The case itself is made of this very solid plastic. That, sure, again, it is admittedly plastic, but it feels very solid, more solid than the cases that you will find on even higher end pairs. They put a lot of thought into this. It is very small, very easily pocketable, very lightweight, but still with enough heft to actually feel premium. And what adds to that is just how sleek the design is overall, and the fact that this uses a soft touch texture for the case. It just feels very good. In terms of the buds themselves, they're very small, they fit very well in my ears, and I would consider them to be pretty stylish, considering that they are very small despite them being two separate units that have to fit a ton of tech in there in order for them to be as functional as they are. So for somebody that is also as active as I am, I'm very happy to actually get a pair that fits so well that simply will not come off my ears no matter how hard I try. So that's very good to have. So in terms of special features, you get things like sweat resistance, which is really cool to have. This pair is actually geared towards people who are very active, who have to do a lot of moving around, who exercise a lot, joggers, that sorts of people. And this pair is built to suffice exactly this category. They will survive getting sweat on very easily and very neatly. Do not submerge these though. These are not water resistant per se, at least not waterproof. You also get passive noise isolation, which isn't quite the same as noise cancelling. It just helps with blocking out some of the external noise, but it's not quite the same tech as having noise cancelling. So it's not active, it's mostly passive. But it's still nice to have, as not a lot of audio seeps through these, so that's really good. And for each bud, you actually get one giant button right on the logo, which you can do things like play and pause music right on the go, answer and hang up phone calls, and you can even trigger your assistant if needed. Definitely a lot of flexibility with these. All of these are very welcome features to have. But the most important thing to cover is going to be sound quality, as these are earbuds after all. So how do they sound? They sound pretty alright, I'll say. I'll get into more details now. For most genres of music, they actually do sound fairly decent, though they do lack some bass, which makes them fall a little bit more on the tinny side. For non-bassy music, like classical music, acoustic versions of different songs, you will get a pretty good experience for the most part actually, since you won't really miss or even require the lack of bass here. However, if you do prefer more bass-heavy music, then you will start to notice that these don't really have quite the punchiness that you might expect. In my opinion, I still think it's okay, because this is a very tiny pair, so I do understand that they were able to fit as much power and flexibility onto these as they were able to. These do sound pretty good in general, actually. For most genres of music, I do find them to be very enjoyable, and the fact that these get so loud is also a very welcome addition here. So not many complaints on my end. Do wish that they had a little bit more bass, but overall the sound quality is pretty good. In terms of battery life, you got yourself a champion here. So these buds on their own on a full charge will last you at around 5 hours, which is what I got on a day-to-day basis. However, the case itself will provide you with an extra 25 hours, which means that you can expect a total of around 30 hours or so depending on your usage. It's definitely quite a lot of juice you can squeeze out of these. These will easily last you through the day and even longer than that. I only had to charge these every couple of days, which is really cool. I really like that about these. Battery life is a strong suit here. But nothing in life is perfect, and that includes the xFits. So I'd like to address some of the things that could improve moving forward. In the future, I would like to see a greater emphasis on bass being added to these, just to make them more viable for listening to even more genres of music, like hip-hop or EDM, or that sort of thing. Granted, listening to music with these is still enjoyable, but having that extra bass would give it that extra that it could use for these genres of music. Also, having the ability to get active noise cancelling instead of just active noise isolation would be pretty good, since it would do a better job at isolating yourself from any outside noises. So that would be really cool. Also, I would like to see USB-C instead of micro USB in the future, just because it makes it easier to use the cables that I already carry around with me with these buds on the go. But that's pretty much it. Here you've got yourself a very solid pair. So now we have finally reached the conclusion. TREBLAB has come up with a very pocketable set of earbuds that is very portable, feels great, sounds pretty good, offers some gestures that are very helpful throughout the day, and especially it will last you throughout the day and even longer, which is something I was very much looking forward to. I'm very happy with this pair thus far, and if you're somebody who's very active and who needs a pair that will last you all day, that sounds pretty decent, and that is built well, then this is the pair that you're looking for. TREBLAB xFit. Highly recommended here. So now, as mentioned earlier, if you're interested in purchasing the xFit, I will be making sure to leave affiliate links to both Amazon and TREBLAB's own site down in the description, along with 10% off code of TechSummit, which is usable on both websites, TREBLAB and Amazon. Links to everything below. If you use any of these links to make a purchase, then we do get a small commission that helps us run things a little more smoothly around here, so we'd really appreciate it if you did just that. This has been Francisco from TechSummit. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you all later. Enjoy.